Commander Jackson Ryler paced slowly inside the sterile, humming chamber aboard the Starship Aegis. The air was thick with tension and recycled oxygen, cold and clinical. Before him lay Luna Carter, a human woman from Earth, restrained tightly on a metal slab. Her chest rose and fell faintly, eyes shut in what appeared to be a death-like stillness. Jackson's fingers tapped rhythmically against his sidearm. His crew watched in silence. They were scientists, soldiers, explorers, assigned to study this so-called primitive species. Earth had long been a footnote in galactic records, deemed a dying world with little value beyond curiosity. But Luna was different. She was the anomaly. The humans had brought her in during a raid on a small outpost. She'd resisted fiercely, almost unervingly so. Now, she was their test subject, their window into the limits of human biology. "We proceed with the standard protocol," Jackson said, voice low but firm. "Let's see how much she can endure." The lab tech, Specialist Kian, nodded and began attaching electrodes to Luna's arms, legs, and temples. Thin needles pierced her skin, delivering electric shocks calibrated to inflict maximum pain without immediate death. The chamber filled with a quiet hum, punctuated by Luna's stifled gasps. Minutes passed. Luna's muscles twitched, her eyes fluttered open, then shut again. Her lips moved silently, mouthing words no one could hear. She was fighting hard. The crew's monitors beeped warnings. Vital signs were erratic, dangerously close to flatline. "Increase intensity," Jackson ordered. "We need answers." The shocks intensified. Luna's body convulsed violently. The blue light in the room deepened, casting sharp shadows across the cold metal walls. Sweat dripped from her forehead. The pain was excruciating, but still she did not break. Then, suddenly, her body went limp. Specialist Kian checked the monitors frantically. "Commander, she's gone. No pulse. Brain activity 0. Confirmed death," Jackson commanded. The room fell silent. They had lost her. The experiment had ended in failure. But then, just as the crew began preparing to declare the session over, Luna's eyes snapped open. A strange glow filled them, unnatural and fierce. Her chest began rising again, steadily this time. Not just alive, transforming. Jackson stepped back, heart pounding. What is that?" Luna's gaze pierced him like a blade. She spoke, voice low but commanding. "You don't understand. Death is only a doorway." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. This was beyond anything recorded. The human wasn't just surviving torture. She was evolving. Jackson knew, then, that they had triggered something primal, something terrifying. Humans, they were not just fragile creatures. They were something else entirely. And what came next would shatter everything the galaxy believed about life, death, and human potential. The room buzzed with a strange energy. Luna's eyes burned like stars, alive, intense, almost otherworldly. Commander Jackson Ryler backed away, his mind racing to comprehend what just happened. The monitor still showed no normal signs of life, but she was breathing. "Somehow, bring me the med scanner," Jackson ordered, voice trembling slightly. "Now!" Specialist Kian rushed to the console, fingers flying over holographic controls. The scanner emitted a soft blue pulse, scanning Luna's body from head to toe. "Commander," Kian said, eyes wide, "there's no biological activity as we understand it. No heartbeat, no brainwaves. But her body, it's reacting. Some kind of energy signature I've never seen before." Jackson's jaw clenched. "Explain." Kian shook his head. "It's like she's generating her own power, something beyond organic functions. It's almost as if consciousness itself is rewriting the rules." Luna's breathing deepened, steady now. But it was the look in her eyes that unsettled them most. There was awareness, and something stronger, an intelligence that seemed to pierce through the cold metal and flickering lights of the ship. "Commander," Luna said softly, voice carrying a strange calm. "You think you own death, but death owns you." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Enough of this mystical nonsense, Jackson barked, though inside he felt a cold knot of fear. "We have protocols. We need data." Luna's lips curved in a faint, almost mocking smile. "Data? You want to know about pain, suffering? I have known more in these 37 minutes than your entire species has in centuries." "Species?" Specialist Kian whispered, a tremor in his voice. "You mean humans?" "Yes," Luna replied. "Humans. Not weak. Not primitive. You mistake what you don't understand." Jackson stared, trying to mask his growing unease. "Explain." "Now." Luna struggled to sit up, but the restraints held her fast. "When you think someone is dead, you close your mind to possibilities. But consciousness, it doesn't die. It evolves." Kian frowned. "Evolves how?" Luna's gaze shifted to the wall behind them. "I slipped past death, slipped past your reality. I entered a place where pain can't touch me, where I learned the truth about humans. About us." Jackson stepped closer. "What truth?" "Humans are built for survival, beyond flesh and blood, beyond your science. When you hurt us, you awakened something ancient, something stronger." The silence was heavy. No one spoke. "Why did you bring me here?" Luna asked quietly. "Why torture me?" "To learn," Jackson said simply. "To understand how to control your kind." Luna laughed, low, cold, and empty. "You don't control humans. You never will." Suddenly, the chamber's blue lights flickered wildly. Alarms blared. The ship shook violently. Red warning lights flooded the room. "What's happening?" Kian shouted. Luna's eyes flared. "I told you, you made a mistake." In the moments that followed, the crew realized their worst fears were true. The humans, represented by Luna, were far more than just fragile flesh. They held power beyond understanding, and now it was coming for them. The Aegis shuddered violently as the ship's automated systems screamed in alarm. Red lights flashed in every corridor, casting eerie glows on the cold metal surfaces. Commander Jackson Ryler stumbled, but regained his footing, eyes darting to the control panels. "What the hell just happened?" Specialist Kian shouted over the siren's wail. Luna Carter's gaze remained steady, almost serene. The faint glow still radiated from her eyes, now sharper, brighter, like burning embers igniting a raging fire inside her. "It's her," Jackson said grimly. "Whatever she's become, it's interfering with the ship's systems." The crew scrambled to regain control, fingers flying over holographic consoles, trying to isolate the anomaly. But no amount of hacking or rewiring could stop the creeping, invisible force spreading through the ship's network. Suddenly, power cut out in half the ship. Darkness swallowed the corridors. Emergency lights flickered to life, bathing the rooms in a ghostly red. "Contain her," Jackson barked. "Lock down this chamber." But it was too late. Luna's restraints shattered with a deafening snap, metal ripping apart like paper. She rose, every movement fluid, purposeful. Her skin seemed to shimmer faintly under the emergency lighting. Jackson drew his sidearm, aiming carefully. "Stand down." Luna smiled, cold and distant. "I am beyond your commands." The crew hesitated, unsure how to react. They'd come prepared for a fragile specimen, not a force of nature. Suddenly, Luna raised her hand, and the entire room convulsed. Instruments exploded. The metal slab twisted, warped by an unseen energy. Jackson ducked, narrowly avoiding shards of flying glass. His heart pounded, fear gripping him like a vice. "Ow," he whispered. "How can she do this?" Kian's voice was trembling. "She's not just alive. She's controlling the very fabric of this ship." Luna's eyes locked on Jackson. "You think torturing me would break me? You've only unleashed the true power of humanity." The realization hit Jackson like a punch to the gut. They hadn't captured a weak species. They'd awakened a sleeping giant. "Luna," Jackson said cautiously, "what are you?" Luna's gaze softened for a moment, but her voice remained firm. "I'm the future, the evolution of human will. Death cannot stop me because I am beyond it. Pain cannot break me because I transcend it." Her hands swept across the room. Screens flared to life, displaying images of distant Earth. Cities burning, people fighting, surviving against impossible odds. "We were never meant to be victims," she continued. "We were born to survive, to rise, to conquer." Jackson swallowed hard. The myth of human weakness was unraveling before him. Suddenly, Luna lunged forward with impossible speed, knocking the sidearm from Jackson's hand. She moved like liquid shadow, unstoppable. "Do not mistake mercy for weakness," she said, voice low, deadly. Jackson barely caught her arm, struggling to keep her restrained. "Why are you doing this?" he demanded. "For humanity," Luna replied. "To show you, the galaxy, what you've underestimated." Around them, the ship's systems failed further, lights flickering off, communications cutting out. The Aegis was no longer a command center. It was a battlefield. Jackson realized that this was not just about survival anymore. It was war, a war that humans would win. The Aegis was in chaos. Flickering lights cast jagged shadows as systems failed one by one. The hum of machines died into silence, replaced only by the heavy breathing of the crew and the low crackle of damaged electronics. Commander Jackson Ryler leaned against a scorched control panel, his mind racing. How had they so gravely underestimated Luna Carter and the strength of humanity itself? Luna stood tall amid the wreckage, her eyes still glowing with that unnatural fire. Her skin seemed to pulse with an energy that defied explanation. Around her, the air shimmered, charged with a force no alien technology could contain. Specialist Kian wiped sweat from his brow, watching her with a mixture of awe and terror. She's not just alive, she's changed. Something inside her is different. Jackson nodded grimly. It's like she's become the embodiment of human will. Pure survival instinct given power. Survival instinct, Kian repeated, voice cracked. More like evolution. Instant. Radical. Suddenly, Luna's voice cut through the silence, calm but resonant. "You've treated us like lab rats, shackled us in pain. But you forgot one thing. Human consciousness doesn't die. It evolves, adapts, fights back." Jackson swallowed hard. "But what exactly are you now?" Luna's smile was cryptic. "I'm both death and life, pain and strength. You thought you ended me, yet I am more alive than ever." The ship groaned under the stress of failing systems. Jackson's crew scrambled to salvage what remained, but Luna's presence made their efforts futile. It was as if she commanded the very molecules of the Aegis. "We need to contain her, or the entire mission is lost," Jackson said, voice steely. "If she gains control of the ship, we won't just lose data, we'll lose everything." Kian nodded. "But how? Conventional weapons are useless. Our restraints failed instantly." Luna stepped forward, her gaze piercing. "You will learn that humans are more than biology. We are willpower, spirit, and defiance made flesh. Every time you try to break us, you only forge us stronger." Jackson gritted his teeth. "You're a weapon now. A weapon against us. No, Luna whispered. A weapon for humanity. Suddenly, the ship's comm crackled to life. A distorted voice came through, an alien fleet commander, unaware of the chaos aboard Aegis. Commander Ryler, report status. Why is the Aegis offline? Jackson hesitated. How could he explain that the prisoner they thought was broken had become a force threatening their entire species? Hostile takeover, he finally said, voice cold. By the subject, Luna's smile deepened. Tell your fleet, humans are not prey. They are predators. The line went dead. Jackson looked at Luna, no longer captive but conqueror. The battle for humanity's fate had truly begun. The once proud Aegis drifted in eerie silence, its hull scarred and systems failing. Commander Jackson Ryler stood before the shattered viewport, gazing out at the cold void. Behind him, the hum of malfunctioning machinery echoed like a dirge. Luna Carter sat cross-legged on the floor, seemingly calm despite the chaos. Her glowing eyes scanned the room, her breathing steady, almost meditative. The power she now wielded was undeniable. But what truly terrified Jackson was the certainty that it came from something he had never considered, the human mind itself. Explain, Jackson demanded, his voice taut with desperation. What happened to you? How did you survive? How did you gain this power? Luna's smile was soft but knowing. You want answers rooted in your science, but this isn't about biology. It's about consciousness. You see, humans carry within them what I call the code, a unique drive, a spark that cannot be extinguished. Kian, who was leaning nearby, frowned. The code? Yes, Luna replied. It's more than genetics. It's evolution on a higher plane, a mind that refuses to surrender to death or pain. You tortured me, tried to break my body and spirit. But what you didn't realize was that each moment of agony rewired my consciousness. Jackson shook his head, struggling to process. Rewired how? Luna's eyes glittered with fierce pride. Humans aren't just meat and bone. We are willpower incarnate. When pushed to the edge, our brains adapt, creating pathways that no alien technology can predict or control. Pain doesn't destroy us. It awakens hidden potentials. Kian looked skeptical but intrigued, like some kind of rapid neural evolution. Exactly, Luna said, and it's not limited to me. Every human carries this potential. Jackson's mind raced. If what she said was true, their entire mission was doomed. The galactic powers had underestimated Earth and humanity itself, terribly. Why show us this? Jackson asked. Why not destroy us all now that you have the power? Luna's gaze softened. Because understanding is the first step to respect. Humans don't want war. We want to survive and thrive. But if pushed, we fight like nothing else in the universe. The tension in the room thickened. Jackson's crew exchanged uncertain glances, the weight of the revelation settling heavily on them. Suddenly, the ship's emergency systems blinked back to life. The Aegis hummed faintly as backup generators kicked in. Jackson took a deep breath. We need to send a message. We have to warn our fleet before this evolution spreads. Luna stood, energy radiating from her like a living storm. You can try, but you're already part of it. As Jackson prepared the comms, Luna's voice echoed softly, but with unwavering conviction. Humanity isn't just surviving anymore. We're ascending. Outside, the vastness of space seemed to hold its breath. The galaxy had just met a new kind of threat, and it was born from human will. Far beyond the crippled Aegis, the alien fleet drifted in tight formation, sleek vessels gliding silently through the void. Fleet Commander Tyros sat alone in his command chamber, eyes fixed on the flickering holographic projection of the disabled ship. The The reports were troubling. "Commander," the communications officer said, voice taut with unease, "all systems aboard the Aegis have gone offline. Our subject, human Luna Carter, has overridden the ship's controls. She appears to have gained control of onboard systems." Varek's jaw tightened. Impossible. A primitive species should not have that capability. "But sir," the officer continued, "we are receiving a cryptic transmission from Luna herself. She claims to have evolved beyond death and pain. She speaks of a code unique to humans, a willpower that rewrites reality itself." Varek stared at the projection, the hologram of Luna's glowing eyes burning into his thoughts. He believed humans to be simple creatures, easy prey in a vast and ancient galaxy. But now doubt gnawed at him. "Prepare the fleet," Varek ordered coldly. "We will return to Earth. This code must be studied or destroyed." Meanwhile, aboard the Aegis, Luna moved with purpose. The ship was her fortress, her weapon. Her mind pulsed with newfound energy. Every attempt the aliens made to retake control was met with resistance. An invisible wall of willpower stronger than any technology. Jackson watched her, torn between fear and awe. "If this is the future of humanity," he said quietly, "we are no longer a threat. We are a force." Luna nodded. "And forces do not bow to fear. They break chains and shatter limits." As the alien fleet began its dark descent toward Earth, an unspoken battle was underway. A war not just for survival, but for the soul of the species. The galaxy was awakening to a new reality. Humans were no longer the hunted. They were the hunters. The alien fleet, a dark river of steel and light, cut through the cold expanse of space like a storm on the horizon. Commander Varek Tyros stood on the bridge of the flagship Dominion, his eyes narrow slits focused on the blinking projection of Earth below. The blue and green marble was beautiful but fragile, its surface dotted with human cities, tiny sparks of life that the aliens had long dismissed as insignificant. "Report," Varek ordered, voice low and authoritative. "The humans have sent scattered signals of warning," the communications officer replied. "Their defenses are minimal, but something has changed. They're organizing rapidly." "Rapidly?" Varek frowned. "They should be weak, fractured, primitive. But the reports from the Aegis are undeniable, Commander," another officer said. "Luna Carter's transformation has inspired a global surge in human activity. We detect energy spikes, strange phenomena, signals of something greater than we anticipated." Varek's jaw clenched. The galaxy's assumption that humans were easy prey was unraveling. Instead of a dying species, they faced an unpredictable, fiercely adaptive adversary. The so-called primitive humans were evolving, or rather, revealing powers hidden deep within. Back on Earth, Luna Carter stood before a growing assembly of humans, scientists, soldiers, civilians, each touched in some way by the recent upheavals. Her glowing eyes scanned the crowd, steady and unwavering. "Humans," she said, voice ringing with clarity and strength. "The galaxy has underestimated us for too long. They have sought to break our spirit, to cage our potential. But now we rise." Whispers rippled through the crowd. Some still doubted. Others believed. Hope flickered in their eyes. "We are no longer the weak, no longer the prey. We carry the code, the will to survive, the power to transcend. The aliens will come. They will try to enslave us again." She paused, letting her words sink in. "But we will not go quietly. We will fight. We will awaken every human mind, every soul. This is our time." Around the globe, communications lit up. Human enclaves began to prepare. Scientists decoding strange energy signatures, engineers retrofitting weapons with unconventional tech, civilians readying for a fight they never imagined. In space, the alien fleet approached Earth's orbit. The command centers buzzed with tension as Varek Tyros activated the battle protocols. "Engage," he commanded coldly. The first wave descended, sleek fighters slicing through the atmosphere. But Earth was no longer defenseless. Energy fields sparked to life, and human resistance was ready. Luna's voice echoed across the battlefield. They thought we would break. Instead, we became unbreakable. The war for Earth was beginning, and humanity was ready to shock the galaxy. The skies above Earth burned with the furious dance of alien and human technology. The first wave of the alien fleet tore through the atmosphere like streaks of cold fire, their sleek fighters weaving deadly patterns against the planet's fragile defenses. Commander Jackson Ryler stood at the head of a hastily organized human command center, watching the holographic battle map flicker wildly. Luna Carter stood beside him, her presence commanding, her eyes glowing with unyielding power. "We underestimated them," Jackson admitted, voice tight with urgency. "Their ships are faster, stronger." Luna shook her head, calm and focused. "They rely on technology. We rely on something more. Will, spirit, the code." As the alien fighters approached, the human resistance unleashed a barrage of energy fields and electromagnetic pulses, disrupting the alien weapons. But the invaders adapted swiftly, their armor shifting like liquid metal to absorb the attacks. Suddenly, Luna raised her hand. A shockwave pulsed outward, invisible but potent. Alien ships faltered, systems glitching under the assault of her mind. "Impossible," a nearby officer muttered. Luna's voice rang clear. "Humans are not just flesh and circuits. We are evolution in motion. Every attack you launch only strengthens our resolve." From the shadows, specially trained human operatives emerged. Men and women who had tapped into the latent powers Luna had awakened. Some could manipulate energy, others bent gravity itself, while a few whispered commands that shattered electronics. The battlefield became a chaotic symphony of raw power and advanced tech. Commander Varek Tyros snarled aboard the Dominion. "Send the heavy cruisers. Destroy their leaders." The massive alien ships roared, firing beams that sliced through human fortifications. But Luna stood unwavering, her form radiant with cosmic energy. With a defiant cry, she unleashed a surge that tore through the cruiser's shields, causing them to explode in spectacular fireballs. Jackson looked on, disbelief mixing with hope. "She's leading us beyond survival. She's leading us to victory." But Varek was not defeated yet. "Prepare the final weapon," he hissed. "If we lose here, the entire empire falls." As the battle raged, humanity's true potential began to shine, not just in technology, but in unbreakable spirit and fierce determination. The clash was no longer just for survival. It was for the right to claim their place among the stars. The war for Earth had reached a fever pitch. Across skies and starfields, firestorms raged, lighting up the heavens with the fury of clashing civilizations. The alien fleet, once confident and overwhelming, now staggered under the relentless assault of human forces. Commander Jackson Ryler stood amidst a sea of broken consoles and sparking wires in the Aegis-shattered command deck. Sweat beaded on his brow as he coordinated defense efforts. Luna Carter's radiant form stood unwavering beside him, a beacon of hope and raw power. "Commander," Kian reported breathlessly, "the aliens are regrouping. Their heavy weapons are charging for a final strike. This could break us." Jackson clenched his fists. "Then we must be ready to break them first." Luna's eyes blazed with fierce light. They still don't understand. Human will is not just resistance. It's evolution in real time. We adapt, we overcome. We become what they fear. Suddenly, the ship trembled violently as a massive energy beam tore through the outer defenses. The Aegis shook, alarms blaring as systems overloaded. "Brace yourselves," Jackson shouted. Outside, human fighters swarmed to protect the ship, clashing with alien warships in brutal dogfights. Below, on Earth's surface, humans with enhanced abilities turned battlefields into landscapes of miracle and destruction. In the heart of the chaos, Luna focused her mind. She reached deep into the code, tapping into the raw essence of human consciousness. Her aura flared, a brilliant cascade of energy radiating outward. A wave of power burst from her, disrupting alien technology, scrambling sensors, and turning their own weapons against them. Ships faltered and exploded, panic rippling through the fleet. Commander Varek Tyros watched helplessly as his forces crumbled. "This cannot be," he growled. "They're not just surviving, they're transforming. This is no ordinary species." Desperation mounting, Varek activated the Dominion's secret weapon, an ancient, forbidden device designed to erase consciousness itself. A pulse of pure null energy aimed to wipe all sentient life aboard the Aegis and across Earth. Luna sensed the attack before it arrived. "We don't fight with weapons alone," she whispered. "We fight with soul." With a fierce cry, she channeled the full power of the code, erecting a shimmering barrier of living energy around the planet. The null pulse slammed into it, fracturing and dissipating harmlessly. The alien weapon's failure broke Varek's resolve. The fleet began retreating. The tide irreversibly turned. Jackson exhaled, exhausted but victorious. "They thought us weak, but we are humanity. Unbreakable, unstoppable." Luna smiled, eyes shining. "This is just the beginning. The universe will never underestimate us again." The shattered remains of the alien fleet retreated into the void, their pride broken and their arrogance forever scarred. Earth's skies cleared, revealing a world battered but unbowed, a planet where humanity had risen from the brink to claim its destiny. Commander Jackson Ryler stood atop a ruined cityscape, overlooking a crowd of survivors and fighters. Luna Carter stood beside him, radiant as ever, her eyes glowing with the energy of countless battles and unyielding hope. "This war was never just about survival," Luna said, voice strong and clear. "It was about awakening, about showing the galaxy that humans are not just another species. They're a force of nature, a spark of something greater." Jackson nodded. "We've shattered their expectations. We've proven that willpower, spirit, and unity can overcome even the most advanced technology. Around them, humans rebuilt, stronger and wiser. Scientists unlocked new secrets of the code, harnessing the power within to heal, to create, and to protect. The scars of war became the foundation of a new era, an era where humanity would stand among the stars not as victims, but as pioneers. In the silent reaches of space, the galaxy took notice. Other species, once dismissive, now watched Earth with newfound respect and caution. The legend of humanity's rise spread like wildfire, a beacon of hope and a warning. Luna turned to Jackson, a soft smile on her lips. Death was not the end. It was the doorway, and through it, we found our true selves. Jackson smiled back. Humanity is just beginning. The stars are waiting. As the sun set on a world forever changed, a new chapter dawned. One where humans would explore, conquer, and protect. Not with domination, but with the fierce heart of a species that refused to be broken. Humanity had transcended. Humanity had become legend. Humanity was ready.